Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to be doing a little paint and chat. So I'm just going to be doing a simple flower field, and you can feel free to follow along with me or just listen to me while I talk today. So today I'm going to be chatting a little bit about my whole art journey and where I started, how I've progressed, and where I am now in my journey. And I'd love to keep the conversation going, so if you have any questions during the video, go ahead and let me know in the comments below. I'm also planning on doing a Q&A video at some point, so I'm trying to collect those questions. But if you're new to my channel, my name is Emily Winslow, and I am an artist who loves to help others learn how to paint and also help others in their own art journey. So let's go ahead and get started on today's painting. Like I said, I'm just gonna do a simple flower field because those are easy to paint while I talk. So to start off my art journey, I just want to say I never went to art school. I actually majored in business analytics. So I worked in the tech field for 6 years. I graduated in 2019 from college and started immediately at my tech job in 2019. And I recently just went full-time, so happy for that. But as a lot of artists say, I have been artistic most of my life. I just never thought I would be doing art as my actual career. So the year that I actually started using watercolor a lot was 2021. And I had, before that, not really played around with watercolor. I did more acrylic or drawing. So that was the year I just started playing around with it, mostly because my husband was going to do his MBA and I wanted something to do while he was away at school. So I was like, let me try doing watercolor. And I did this 30-day challenge where I painted something different every single day. And I've talked about my art story before on this channel, so you may have heard this, but I actually hated watercolor at first. I thought it was so hard to use and really frustrating actually, but I don't know, the more I did it, the more I just started to fall in love with this medium. So in 2021 is when I started my Instagram and I started documenting just the paintings I was doing on there, not really intending to sell them. I was just kind of doing it more for myself to see how I progressed. And pretty soon after that, people started wanting to buy my art and ask for commissions. I was a little surprised. I was like, okay. I started just selling my art for really cheap. Like my original 8x10s, I was selling for like 20 bucks, like super, super cheap. You know, at the time I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't really think I was going to go anywhere with an art business or anything. It was definitely more of a hobby to me. I just continued practicing throughout the end of the year. I also then did my first art market at the end of 2021. And it was, I actually wouldn't say it was an art market. It was just like a little craft show at this community center. There were like, I think 10 people with booths and it was so small, but I just remember at the end of that, I was just so happy. I was so excited. I made $200 and my husband and I went out to eat after that. I just thought it was so fun. And so that kind of just sparked my joy of creating art and seeing the joy that it brought people. That was the start of my journey. And I just honestly never stopped after I did that initial 30-day challenge back in the summer of 2021. So really thankful that my husband went to go get his MBA because I feel like that's why I started doing it, to, you know, keep busy. And then going into 2022, I think that year was more of a year of practice. I didn't do any major art shows. I think I did like 1 or 2 that year, but I practiced a lot with my art. I think that's really where I just started to find my style in my watercolors, and I also started doing a little bit of oil that year as well. 2022 was also the year that I learned how to make prints of my artwork, which is something major that really benefited my art business because I started selling in gift shops after that, and I continue to do so and try to get into more and more. And I learned how to do prints from attending one of those little art fairs I did. I saw that an artist had prints and I just asked her, I was like, oh, how did he make these? And she let me know. She uses gicleytoday.com. So that's what I have been using ever since. And I feel like I owe a big part of my business growth to that artist. So really thankful. for the community, and just asking other artists questions when you have one. Like, don't be scared to ask your community a question that you have, because it can exponentially grow your business. And I'm just so thankful for people who don't gatekeep and help each other, and I just want to be that to other artists. So again, please don't hesitate to ask questions in the comments or on Instagram. I'd be happy to help others. So while I was just practicing art in 2022, again, I just continued to work at the same job that I have been. Actually, have only ever had one corporate career in my life, and it's the one I started right after college. And so yeah, just continue to juggle both. And I will say it was difficult, but at the same time, I feel like it just gave me a good opportunity to not worry about making money with art in the beginning. I was able to focus a lot on like my voice as an artist, figuring out what I liked to paint. I feel like if I had started just being a full-time artist right away, I feel like it'd be hard for me to not have that pressure to make a lot of money right away, take on as many commissions as I could. I just feel like there wouldn't be that route for me to grow as much. And some people ask me, like, do you wish that you went to art school? But I think I'm happy with the route that I took. I think the hardest thing about juggling a full-time job with art was just having enough time to make art. Obviously, I wasn't able to put in my full effort because I also had a 9-to-5 job that I would do, and basically I would spend either my mornings or lunchtime, a lot of evenings, doing my paintings. And that's how I was able to get inventory for my art markets. And it just felt really hard to feel like I had so much potential that I couldn't use because I just plain out didn't have the time. And so it was a hard couple of years just trying to juggle both and give my all to both, while also, having fun, seeing family and friends, doing fun things with my husband. I also give props to all the mom artists out there. I want to be a mom one day, and man, I know that's gonna be another difficult chapter, but people make it work. And I give a lot of credit to moms who run small businesses. That is just such a incredible thing that they do, and something I am going to strive for one day is to, continue to run my small business and be a mom. So going into 2023 was a big year of growth. So that was the year I started doing large art fairs. And I've talked about the Broad Ripple Art Fair a few times on my channel, but that was like the first big one I did, and it just kind of opened those doors to me, showing me the difference between a craft show versus an art fair. There's a big difference in, the booth fee, the crowd who goes. I just started doing more of those that year. And 2023 was also the year that I started doing live wedding paintings, which is a big instrumental part of my business now. And I'm just really thankful to the first bride who trusted me to paint her wedding. I actually said no to those at first, and she kept being insistent on having me do it. And I was like, fine, I'll just try it out and hope it goes well. And it's something I fell in love with doing. So I'm just really thankful to everyone who lets me paint at their wedding. And then towards the end of 2023 is the first time that my husband and I started talking about the possibility of me doing art full-time. And it just sounded like something that was so scary to me because I only knew my corporate job after college. I had done that ever since I graduated. That's the only full-time job I knew. I worked for a tech company, so I was just like, how, and I know money is not everything, but in my mind I was like, how as an artist would I ever be able to, replace that income? Just, it didn't seem possible to me at the moment, but 2023 is just the first time we started thinking about it. And I think what really started to make me think that, oh, it could be a possibility to do art full time was just seeing the diversity in the income as an artist. So there are a few different things that I do with my art that brings in income. So one of them is live wedding paintings. I sell my art at art fairs. I do commissions. I saw in gift shops, and I also just saw in my online shop. And seeing how I could bring in income in these different ways started to make me realize that it could become possible to make a living as an artist. And I am really thankful to have my husband who could support us on one income, and that just also made me feel safe to do this. But I also wanted to help contribute to our home and our future house that we're trying to save up for. So I just wanted to make sure that I could actually make a career out of this before jumping into it full time. So now going into 2024, I think that was the year of planning for me to go full time. We had decided in February of 2024 that that was going to become a reality and that I would quit my job at the start of 2025. And so we wanted to kind of just have a year of planning, getting processes in place, and when I say processes, I kind of mean just like making sure I have good like sound contracts for my live wedding paintings, making sure we are on it with taxes, and it's still a work in progress of my processes for the business, but we're getting there. And we just really wanted to take that year to slow down and kind of make sure we're running a good business and that we were ready to take that on full time. And so that year as a whole was actually so hard to know that I was going to quit, but still have to be giving 100% to my job that I was at. And I did it. I finished out that year just continuing to grow in my art business, but also work at my full-time job. And it was just a weird secret I had to keep. Another thing that I started loving in 2024 was doing plein air paintings. Before that, I had always been a studio artist where I just, paint off of some reference photos or out of imagination. And I still like to do that. Like what I'm doing right now, I'm just kind of doing this one out of imagination. But it always, I don't know, there's just such a different air about plein air paintings. Like it just feels like you're there. Plein air paintings are hard. When you start doing them, I was like, it's like you want to paint all the little details that you're seeing, but for me it really helped when you slow down and you block out the big items that you want to paint and focus on that. Like you don't have to focus on every little detail. It also is just so nice to go out and do paintings out in like parks, or I've started doing a lot of cafe paintings where I just paint the food that I'm eating. Those are so much fun. So if you're an artist and haven't really tried plein air, I definitely suggest it. I think it's just such a great way to grow in your art and to make the painting just a little bit more special, because when you take it home and you look at it, you're like, wow, I was there. I painted it while I was there. And it just, I think, makes a big difference. My husband and I are planning to do a Europe trip at the end of this year, and I'm just so excited to bring my art supplies on our trip and paint some beautiful things in Europe. Neither of us have been to Europe, so if you have any recommendations on cafes or places to visit, let me know. I think we're going to do Paris and London. We haven't actually booked it yet, so that could change, but honestly, I think anywhere in Europe would be gorgeous, so let me know your recommendations below. So let's talk about when I actually went full-time and kind of leading up to that. So in February of 2025, this year, is when I put in my 2 weeks to go full-time. I was so nervous. I had never quit an actual corporate job before, so I was like, how do I even go about quitting? I was like, do I send the email first? Do I tell my manager over the phone? I just thought it was probably a little bit more professional to tell her over the phone first before sending the resignation email. So I actually tried to quit on like a Wednesday and she was not available. So I was like, she was like, can you send me a chat? Like, is it a question I can help you with over chat? And I was like, no, it's not. So I waited till the next day to quit. And so after I left my job, I kind of had the impression that I was going to have a lot more time. And for some reason, I just feel so much busier. I just feel like I have less time on my hands, which is so weird. I think it's kind of because, you know, when you run a small business, you get out what you put in. So I feel like I am definitely working more, working harder than I was when I had my corporate job, because it's different when you're paid on a salary and you're gonna, you know, get that money no matter what. There's just kind of a different air about it when you're, you know, your own boss. You want to make sure that you're staying on top of tasks and getting things done. And so that's kind of like a weird impression. I thought I was going to have more time than I actually do. Oh, I also forgot to mention that in 2024 is when I started my YouTube channel, and I think that was also a big part of my business. And to be transparent, I don't make any money through my YouTube channel at the moment. I do hope that I'll get there one day. That's why I'm continuing to post and pour into it. I have seen a lot of growth on YouTube, and at the moment I kind of just use YouTube as an outlet for creativity, getting my art out there, helping others learn how to paint. But my goal for the rest of this year is just to continue growing my YouTube channel, growing my audience. I talked about this in my goals video earlier in this year, but I really want to make a watercolor workbook. I would love to get to the workbook by the end of this year, but I think it might take a little bit more planning than that. My plan more is to have my draft done by the end of the year, be able to go forward with printing it maybe earlier next year, but there's just so much I want to do as an artist that I have limited time for. So if you're an artist, I'd love to hear about your journey, how it's going, how you got started doing art. I think it's just so fun to hear everybody's beginning story and just how they got started into it, because everyone has a different story, and I think we were all created to be creative. So it's been a lot of fun doing these paint and chats. Let me know what other topics that you want to hear about. It's just really fun to make a painting while discussing something fun. So now for my favorite part of the end of a painting is to rip off these blue pieces of tape. Sometimes I do paintings without the blue tape, but it always makes it kind of fun to reveal the white border. And here is our final painting, just a nice simple flower field. So really excited to get this one framed and bring it to my next art fair. So thank you everyone for joining this paint and chat. I'd love if you find me on social media at Emily Winslow Art, and if you could like and subscribe this video, that would be so appreciated. Until we paint again next time.